Hey guys, so I'm trying a little bit of a different angle today, and that is above. I was going to do it from behind me, but I didn't really like how it was looking, so I'm going to try from the front. Today we're going to be taking all the 3D prints off from this so I can paint the actual base blaster. Now what that is it's a Nexus Pro. I know it's hard to tell with all this junk on it, but yeah, let's get started. I actually completely forgot that I was holding this little canted sight in with nails, only because it never fell out. So I might just keep these nails in here, but it's actually supposed to have 2 screws that go into it. So originally Nexus Pro had like a little handle on the front of it to, prime it and everything. And I went with this pump grip just because it looks cooler. I don't think it actually works better, but I just like the look of it a lot more. And it just slides on. And then that little bolt you saw me take out just goes in behind here and keeps it from sliding off. And that's enough to secure it in place. And then these are just little slide rails. They're not required, but they do also help if you have like a custom paint job on it. I do like how the Nexus Pro hides their little warning labels like as much as they can. What I've always hated about Nerf is there's one side that has like all the fancy colors on it and all the lettering, all the painted stuff on, and then the other side has all the screws on it, and it still has the lettering, but it's not painted at all. It's just the color of the blaster. I think that's just really cheap, and it's a way for them to save money so they don't have to detail both sides. I think it would just look a lot nicer, even though this is technically the ugly side. Just paint the letters on both sides. Don't like cheap out on one side. Now one of these did mess up, or maybe 2 of them. I think, yeah, this one messed up. The print just like squished a little bit and it didn't print right. So I am going to reprint. I think I might just reprint 2 of them. And then that will replace both on this side. So when I originally printed this stock, this was going to be one piece and then this was going to be one piece. As you can see, that didn't happen. This is one piece, this is another piece. There's another little piece in here that I had to cut out digitally in Tinkercad. And then this is one piece. This is actually a piece from a different print. It's a sling holder, and I'm gonna put another mount up probably on the front somewhere. But the reason I did this was originally there was about a 1/4 inch gap in between the stock and this. Now this is a little bit wider than I expected it to be. I didn't really ever measure it, but I put this in here, and that's what caused me to have to put this filler piece in here. But on top of that, this stock is supposed to slide on to this rod right here this way, but the handle, which is supposed to be attached to the stock, has no way of sliding on this way because these little lips that are ripped off, they wrap around the trigger guard, and on top of that, just the way that it's designed, it makes it seem like it's supposed to slide on this way. So the whole thing just isn't designed right to begin with, and I think that might be only a problem with the remix. I think the original one might be okay based off from what I've heard, but this one just isn't right, and I did do things to make it worse. But now, this is loose. This part's completely loose. This part will not come off. And I think where I messed up was I originally glued the pieces together, and then before they dried, I stuck them on here just so they would stay in place. But then I kept gluing, I kept pouring glue into here, and it would just be like an endless amount of glue that I'm pouring into this thing. I think some of it went around this little base here, and it attached to it, so now the stock is very securely glued onto the blaster. That means I will not be able to take this off, and no matter how much I try, I think the only conclusion that I'm going to come to is this is going to break off before it pulls apart. So in that case, which I've always wanted to do this, but at the same time, I really do not want to do this, I'm going to mold this stock onto the blaster. Obviously fix everything that's wrong with it and put the little hole in it like I said. On top of that, I'm going to fill in all the screw holes. Now, that may seem fine, but the more you think about it, the more things you see that's wrong with it. The problems with that is if the spring ever wears out, if anything ever breaks in here, there's no way for me to open up the blaster to fix it. Now, I could just, buy another one, but these are a little bit higher priced for, a toy blaster. It's $50. I get that you have like extra performance with this one. This one is a lot better than a lot of the Nerf blasters. It's a higher end one, but it is still a piece of plastic, but that's all I really do is play around with pieces of plastic. I don't know why I'm complaining. Either way, I think that's my best option, is just to make this a specific cosplay weapon, and it is still going to be functional, just to the fact that if anything breaks, then it won't be functional, and it'll be specifically a display piece. So now, let's have fun filling in all these little screw holes and molding the stock on. I think the first step is to just take a little bit of super glue just to make sure all these don't twist out. And I'm just, in each one of these little holes, I'm just going to put a little bit of super glue and hope that they don't, seep into the blaster and cause more problems to make it less functional. So I'm not sure if I'm just seeing it wrong, which I don't know how it could be. All these other holes where I put the glue into, I can see the metallic shininess of the screws looking back at me. This one looks like there is no screw in it. So I essentially just filled up all the threads with glue, and I hope that that's tight enough right there that the glue doesn't go in between the gap in the mold where the two pieces come together. I hope it just went into the thread and glued it all together. I don't know if you can see that, but my lights actually flickered a little bit right there. It is storming outside, so hopefully they don't lose power. Either way, I might have to let this dry overnight. But I'm just clamping this here because the handle, there was a little bit of a gap in between the 3D printed part and the blaster shell. So I just clamped it up in there and put a little bit of glue on there just to hold it in place to where I want it to be.